is a place on earth once called the most sinful country in the world, not because of war, corruption, or crime, but because the raw chaos of life here leaves the world both fascinated and bewildered. This is Bangladesh, a land where suffering and resilience coexist, where religious faith and crushing poverty intersect in painful, almost unbelievable paradoxes. Here, millions of people crowd the garbage-filled streets, yet still manage to smile kindly. Here, rough, calloused hands sew every stitch for the world's luxury brands, while their owners cannot afford a full meal. And here, amid smoke, oil, and the endless honking of horns, rise the prayers of a people who have never lost faith in God. Bangladesh, where life itself is no longer a given, but a miracle repeated every single day. Today, join fascinating discoveries as we explore one of the most paradoxical lands on Earth, where humanity exists between sin and sanctity, between despair and hope. Real life in Bangladesh. Number 1. Population and the paradox of crowded life. If there is a place where the concept of crowdedness has become a cultural identity, it is Bangladesh. On a strip of land smaller than the U.S. state of Georgia, more than 176 million people live, breathe, and exist in a space meant for only a tenth of that number. They live in homes just steps apart, in neighborhoods where human voices never cease, and in alleys so narrow that two people walking in opposite directions must turn sideways to pass each other. Here, the idea of privacy barely exists. A single small room might be home to 5, 7, or even 10 people. Children grow up to the sounds of market cries, the rattle of rickshaws, the gurgle of wastewater running through drains, and the prayers echoing from hundreds of tiny mosques packed tightly together. They learn to sleep through noise, to eat amid dust and fumes, and to smile despite never having enough of anything. People often say, space shapes humanity. But in Bangladesh, it might be the lack of space that forges an extraordinary will to survive. Every square meter of land is a battlefield, not for conquest, but for preserving a shred of dignity in a life of compression. The people of Bangladesh have mastered the art of sharing. They share meals, beds, shade from the blistering sun, even breaths of air with strangers on the same crowded bus. From above, Dhaka, their capital, looks like a massive body gasping for air. Corrugated rooftops overlap like scales, streets weave together like veins, and the endless flow of people resembles blood in motion. Yet amid the chaos lies a miracle. No one stops moving. Trapped among millions, they still walk, work, and strive with a quiet faith that tomorrow will somehow be better than today. Some say Bangladesh is the laboratory of human endurance. But perhaps it is also the proof that compassion can bloom even in the harshest conditions. In a poor neighborhood, one might see a mother sharing half her bowl of rice with a neighbor's child, or a man pushing his water cart through the mud, pausing only to pour a ladle of water for a thirsty boy. Life here is not mere survival. It is an art, the art of balancing between suffering and hope, between confinement and generosity. Every Bangladeshi is a living story of adaptation, as if they were born to prove that no circumstance can suffocate the human spirit. Bangladesh is not beautiful in the fairy tale sense. Its beauty is that of sweat, of weary eyes, of hands that never stop working. It is the beauty that humbles you, the kind that makes you silently reflect on your own life, realizing how often we complain amid abundance. Perhaps the real sin does not lie in Bangladesh. It lies in the way the world sees them, through eyes of pity instead of respect. Because in the most crowded place on earth, people still know how to live, how to smile, and how to protect their dignity. something not everyone can claim, even in the most luxurious cities on the planet. Number 2. The air of life and the last breaths. In Dhaka, sometimes you don't even need to look, just take a breath, and you'll understand what it means for life itself to be gasping for air. The atmosphere here is so thick you can almost taste it. The smell of smoke, garbage, diesel, and human sweat blending into one. In this city of nearly 23 million people, the sky is rarely blue. The sunlight no longer shines gold, but fades into a dull silver gray, as if weary from piercing through layers upon layers of dust. The people of Bangladesh call this air the wind of endurance, because every breath they take is not just oxygen. It carries millions of PM 2.5 particles, invisible killers slipping into lungs, blood, and heart. The World Health Organization once ranked Dhaka among the most polluted cities on Earth. Yet, if you ask the locals, they'll simply smile and say, "We're used to it." That familiarity is not indifference, it's survival. In a place where thousands of tons of industrial and household waste are dumped into rivers or burned openly on the streets every day, people have no choice but to keep breathing, even when each breath comes at the cost of life itself. On the main road leading to Karwan Bazaar, convoys of trucks spew thick black smoke into the air. Street vendors sit just beside them, waving away the dust with cardboard fans, smiling as they sell vegetables, fresh fish, and sweet pastries, as if this were the most ordinary thing in the world. Children run between moving vehicles, barefaced and fearless. Adults don't complain. Here, pollution is not a problem. It's part of the rhythm of existence. Once, a foreign journalist asked a man working at the Buriganga River dock, "Aren't you afraid of getting sick?" The man replied simply, "I'm more afraid of being hungry." That answer captures the very essence of Bangladesh's survival philosophy. When hunger, thirst, and poverty are constant companions, illness becomes a luxury to worry about. Yet behind that curtain of endurance lie quiet tragedies. Thousands die prematurely each year from lung disease, heart conditions, and cancer, the result of breathing the air they never chose. The elderly cough through the night, children wheeze in their sleep, and hospitals overflow with patients. Meanwhile, textile mills, garment factories, and industrial zones continue to operate at full capacity, exporting billions of dollars worth of clothing to the world. The bitter irony is this: the very air they sacrifice is the lifeblood of their economy. Those same factories, the ones sending smoke into the sky every hour, are what provide jobs for millions. In Bangladesh, pollution is no longer a byproduct. It is the inevitable price of existence. And yet, amid the smog, tiny sparks of hope flicker. A group of young students launches Clean Air Dhaka, a campaign to collect trash and plant trees on rooftops. A woman in a slum creates her own water filtration system using homemade charcoal. A boy selling newspapers collects plastic bottles for recycling, not for money, but because, in his words, "I want the city to be cleaner." Perhaps these small acts are the true breath of Bangladesh, the last trace of purity, not drawn from nature, but born from the human spirit. Because in the end, the most frightening thing is not dirty air. It's when people stop believing they can make it clean again. And in Bangladesh, though gasping, struggling, and suffocating, that belief still refuses to die. Number 3. Traffic, chaos, and the extraordinary endurance. If there is a place where traffic is not just a means of transportation, but a test of human limits, it is Bangladesh. Here, every road is a river thick with people and vehicles. Every intersection is a battlefield of patience. And everyone who steps outside is participating in a grand, chaotic symphony. one without a conductor, yet somehow moving to an invisible rhythm. Old, rusting buses with peeling paint are packed so tightly that passengers cling to doors, climb onto roofs, or hang precariously under the scorching sun. Each time a bus stops, the air thickens with the sound of horns, shouts, and engines roaring. Yet no one complains. They squeeze in, smile, trade jokes, and carry on with their journey. In Dhaka, going to work each morning is an adventure, and making it home each night is a small miracle. On the roads, amid the tangled streams of traffic, you'll find thin, wiry men pedaling rickshaws, the old-fashioned tricycles that somehow survive in the age of cars. Under the blazing heat, they sweat and strain, hauling tired passengers, heavy goods, or sometimes an entire family of 4. Their legs are the engines of the city, tireless, silent, and burdened. A single workday can stretch to 12 hours, earning only a few dollars. Yet when asked, they smile and say, "As long as I have strength, I'll keep pedaling." On the railways, trains are so overcrowded that passengers ride on the rooftops. From afar, the train looks like a giant creature covered in people, crawling slowly across the plains. They are not afraid. They believe in luck, in some unseen hand that will protect them from harm. Perhaps when you've lived your whole life surrounded by danger, you learn to treat it as a natural part of existence. At intersections, instead of traffic lights, there are police officers directing by hand. The flow of vehicles surges and halts like waves, chaotic, unpredictable. Yet, strangely, it does not collapse. In Bangladesh, chaos itself becomes order. Everyone understands the rhythm of the flow, even though no one follows any rules. And then, there are rare moments when this chaos pauses for something deeply human. A convoy of buses stopping to let a wedding procession pass. Dozens of strangers rushing to lift a fallen man off the street. Amid the madness, Bangladesh still holds on to something that many modern cities have lost: compassion among the crowd. Traffic here is the mirror of the nation itself. Old, crowded, smog-choked, yet pulsing with life. It is proof of humanity's limitless adaptability. When comfort and convenience are taken away, people still find a way to move forward, with their feet, with faith, and with smiles that never fade. For the people of Bangladesh, travel is not merely about getting from one place to another. It is a symbol of existence, a journey where every day survived is a victory. And perhaps, amid the endless sea of people, one comes to realize something simple yet profound. True strength does not lie in where you are headed, but in the fact that you keep walking, even when the road is anything but easy. Number 4. Street food and the art of survival. If you want to understand a nation, taste its street food. In Bangladesh, every dish is more than a flavor. It is a lesson in how people find joy amid scarcity. In Dhaka, through every narrow alley, on sidewalks, by riverbanks, or in the bustle of crowded markets, pots of oil bubble furiously, spices fill the air with warmth, and the sizzling sound of frying blends with vendors' calls, composing the music of life itself. The simplest foods, fuska, pitha, chi, carry the soul of the nation. Fuska are hollow flour shells stuffed with mashed potatoes, chickpeas, tamarind water, and fiery chili. Each crispy bite bursts like a tiny explosion, sour, spicy, sweet, and poor. Pitha, steamed or baked rice cakes, are winter gifts, humble yet comforting. And chai, a mix of chickpeas and spices sold in dented tin bowls along dusty streets, is the taste that lingers long after the meal ends. But behind those flavors lies a harsh truth. Most street food is made right on the sidewalk. No clean water, no refrigerators, no protective gear. Vendors wash dishes in drainage water, wipe tables with old cloths, and rinse pots using the same bucket all day. They know it isn't clean, but they have no other choice. For them, it's a means to survive, to earn a few coins to feed their children, pay off debt, or simply make it through one more day. A woman named Reena, who sells pita in Kamalapur market, once said, "People tell me my food isn't clean, but if I don't sell, who will feed my children?" That sentence is both a defense and a quiet cry, an echo of millions of Bangladeshis torn between morality and hunger. Strangely, amid this fragility, Bangladeshi cuisine still holds its pride. Each dish is an emblem of creativity, from how ingredients are used to how flavors are combined. A full meal can be made with almost nothing. A handful of rice, a few potatoes, a pinch of chili, and one tamarind. In poverty, they still find taste. And in that taste lies the spirit of a nation, the ability to live, even when there is almost nothing left to live on. Bangladesh's street food is a metaphor for the country itself, full of contradictions, yet deeply authentic. It is alluring but dangerous, nourishing but risky. And still, it endures, fragrant, lively, and unifying. Because in every shared bite, there is generosity. On every small plastic stool by the roadside, laughter mingles with stories of those who have never lost hope. Perhaps that is what makes Bangladeshi street food truly special. It feeds not only the body, but also the soul. Even when eaten amid exhaust fumes, honking horns, and the stench of garbage, people still feel warmth, because beside them are family, friends, and community. In a world that often feels decayed, they still find the flavor of faith. Because sometimes, to survive, one doesn't need a perfect meal, only a dish that reminds them they are still alive. Number 5. Faith, religion, and the paradoxes within an Islamic society. Bangladesh is one of the largest Muslim countries in the world. The call to prayer echoes 5 times a day from thousands of mosques scattered across the land. That sound, like the heartbeat of faith, blends with the noise of car horns, the hum of sewing machines, and the patter of rain on rusty tin roofs. Here, religion is not merely a belief system. It is the thread that binds people to hope, the very thing they need to endure each difficult day. Yet behind this deep devotion lies a society filled with painful contradictions. Bangladesh proudly identifies as a conservative Islamic nation, where moral codes and religious laws are held above all else. But in the outskirts of Tangail stands Kandapara, one of South Asia's oldest red light districts, where over 1,000 women work each night, while a mosque stands only a few streets away. They are condemned by the same society that sustains them. A 16-year-old girl named Sohana said quietly, "I didn't choose this path. I just had nowhere else to go." Her words require no tears, because in Bangladesh, tragedy has long become routine. Women like her, pushed into darkness by poverty, are living reflections of a nation that cannot reconcile faith with reality. That is the first paradox. A country that preaches purity, yet survives on what it forbids. The second lies within the family structure itself. Though Islam teaches compassion and justice, Bangladesh ranks among the top 10 countries with the highest rates of child marriage. Many girls are wed long before adulthood, simply because their families cannot afford dowries. The younger the bride, the smaller the dowry. An unspoken rule, but one stronger than the law. And in poor rural villages, that truth is as natural as sunlight. When a poor father marries off his 13-year-old daughter to a 30-year-old man, he doesn't think of himself as cruel. He thinks he's saving his family. But the child, from the moment she veils her face, also buries her childhood. The world may call Bangladesh sinful, but look closer, and you'll see that the sin lies not in its people, but in their circumstances. While outsiders judge, Bangladeshis still pray, believing that God sees everything and that their suffering carries meaning in the story of this life. And amid the darkness, faith remains the only light. Each evening, as the crimson sun sinks into the Buriganga River, hundreds bow to the ground, foreheads pressed to the earth. They do not pray for riches, only for peace, for a full meal, for a roof that doesn't leak, for a child to go to school. Even in utter poverty, they are grateful. Perhaps it is that gratitude that makes Bangladesh one of the most spiritually rich nations on earth. Faith does not save them from suffering. It helps them bear it. No one in Bangladesh believes life is fair. They simply believe that if they can still pray today, there is hope for tomorrow, and that is the strength that keeps them from collapsing. Because amid the tangled contradictions and the sins that the world chooses to see, Bangladesh still preserves the most sacred thing of all, a faith that refuses to be defeated. Number 6. Ancient customs and the Marma women's silent revolution. In the misty hills of Chittagong, where clouds descend low and villages appear and vanish within the morning fog, lives an ancient tribe called the Marma. They are one of the oldest ethnic communities in Bangladesh, preserving traditions that have endured for centuries. Yet, those very customs sometimes become chains that bind their people, especially the women. According to Marma tradition, when a widow wishes to remarry, she must marry a man from her late husband's clan. But what shocks the outside world is the next part of that rule. The woman must give one of her daughters to the new husband to compensate his family. In other words, mother and daughter share the same husband. In the eyes of the Marma elders, this is not sin, but a way to preserve the lineage. They believe it maintains balance between two families, protects widows from abandonment, and ensures more offspring, a vital value in their agrarian society. But for the young girls trapped in that cycle, it is nothing short of hell. The story of 17-year-old May Nu brought international attention. When her mother remarried, she was forced to become the second wife of her own stepfather. She fled into the forest and was later rescued by a non-governmental organization. In an interview, May Nu said softly, "I don't hate my mother. I just hate the tradition that made her do this." That sentence cuts straight into the root of the problem, a culture where people are made to sacrifice their humanity in the name of what is right. Yet change is coming. Young women like May Nu have begun to speak, to tell their stories aloud. They form groups, open classes, teach literacy to young girls, and spread a powerful message. We have the right to choose. Today, human rights organizations have reached these remote hills, bringing education and awareness. Village meetings are shifting, elders are beginning to listen, and ancient laws are slowly being rewritten. Of course, transformation takes time. Some villages still cling to the old ways, believing that tradition is the soul of the Marma. But in the eyes of the younger generation, a different light is emerging. The light of knowledge, of freedom. They still wear traditional garments and speak their ancestral language, but within their hearts, a quiet revolution is unfolding. Someone once asked, "Does abandoning a custom mean losing identity?" Perhaps not. Identity does not lie in repeating the past, but in choosing which parts of it are worth carrying forward. And the Marma women, with their quiet courage, are rewriting that story. They are not rejecting tradition, they are humanizing it. Among the hills, the streams, and the faint scent of wood smoke, women are silently ushering in a new era, one where heritage and freedom can coexist. If there is a true symbol of Bangladesh's strength, it is not the skyscrapers of Dhaka, but the Marma women who dare to say no to what no longer deserves to be sacred. Number 7. Dhaka, the urban nightmare and the miracle of resilience. Dhaka, the heart of Bangladesh, never sleeps, never rests, and never quiets down. The city feels like a giant living organism, constantly in motion, breathing heavily, and struggling under its own weight. Nearly 23 million people squeeze into a space where half the land is consumed by trash, dust, and half-built structures. The air is so dense that standing at an intersection for just a few minutes feels like living through an entire day. From above, Dhaka is a gray labyrinth, houses pressed against one another, tin and brick roofs overlapping, roads winding like tangled veins. There is no order, no clear design, yet somehow there is rhythm, a strange, unyielding rhythm, where every person is a cell in the great, gasping body of the city, each fighting to keep life from being swallowed whole. By day, Dhaka is a nightmare of noise, car horns, sewing machines, market vendors shouting, and the clanging of metal from hurried construction sites. By night, it becomes the soundtrack of restless sleep. People sleep on trucks, sidewalks, factory floors, or in the middle of markets long closed. A piece of cardboard becomes a pillow, and a rare cool breeze can bring a genuine smile. Here, exhaustion isn't frightening, it's familiar. Dhaka's people work from sunrise to midnight, earning an average of just $95 a month. A full meal is a reward, not a certainty. Yet amid hunger and haze, there is something profoundly admirable: the will to live. The construction workers, textile laborers, drivers, vendors, and rickshaw pullers, they are the true engines of Dhaka. Each morning, millions of hands begin to move in unison, pushing, lifting, stitching, mending, sewing. The entire city awakens like a colossal machine powered by sweat and perseverance. No one knows where their strength comes from, but they keep going. Because in their eyes, to stop moving is to disappear. Among the dense slums, there are small makeshift classrooms built of tin and wood. Children sit on dirt floors, scratching letters onto worn-out blackboards. Young teachers, many of them volunteers, teach the children how to spell their names, how to read the word hope. These are tiny, radiant sparks amid the city's darkness. And within this chaos, on crowded streets, there are also street performers, young musicians playing guitars in markets, singing songs of love and homeland. No one pays them, but they sing anyway, because it is their way of reminding the world that Dhaka, despite its dust and decay, still has a soul. People often call Dhaka the city unfit for living. But perhaps they are wrong. Dhaka is not a place to live easily. It is a place to learn how to live truly. It forces you to understand the value of every drop of water, every breath, every bite of food, every fleeting smile. Dhaka may be a nightmare, yet within that nightmare, miracles bloom. Thirasti, miracle of a mother sewing through the night so her child can go to school. The miracle of a father cycling 10 kilometers just to bring home a bag of rice. The miracle of countless ordinary people who, though poor and powerless, still choose kindness in a world covered in grime. If there is something that truly defines Dhaka, it is not the skyline of new buildings, but the people who still stand tall among the ruins. They are not victims of poverty. They are living proof of the extraordinary strength of the human spirit. Number 8. The garment industry, ship graveyards, and the true cost of luxury. If there is a place on earth that mirrors the brutal imbalance between luxury and poverty, it is Bangladesh. In the narrow, suffocating alleys of Dhaka, millions of people sew every stitch and thread for brands they could never afford to wear. The garment industry accounts for more than 80% of the country's exports. Zara, H&M, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Burberry. Every one of these global names carries traces of Bangladesh woven into their fabrics. But behind those silk shirts and elegant dresses lie the sweat, blood, and breath of forgotten souls. They work 12 to 14 hours a day in sweltering factories with no air conditioning, no safety gear, and no protection, earning an average of just $70 a month. That is the price the world pays to look beautiful. One young worker said, "I know I'm stitching luxury labels, but for me, every stitch is a meal for my family." Her voice carried no anger, only exhaustion. Exhaustion from poverty and from having no other choice. The 2013 Rana Plaza disaster, when a garment factory collapsed and killed over 1,100 people, remains an open wound. The world was horrified. Fashion giants promised reform. But time passed, and the cycle resumed. The global supply chain still depends on cheap hands, and Bangladesh, crowded and poor, remains the paradise of low costs. Yet the paradox doesn't end there. 200 kilometers south of Dhaka, in the port city of Chittagong, lies the world's largest ship graveyard, where Europe's and America's giant vessels come to die. On beaches slick with oil and scattered with rusted steel, tens of thousands of workers dismantle ships that weigh thousands of tons, using only hammers, saws, and bare hands. No helmets, no gloves, no masks. Toxic oil, lead paint, asbestos, and heavy metals seep into their skin, their water, their soil. Every year, hundreds die quietly, crushed by steel, burned, or poisoned by cancer. Yet they return each day for one simple reason: there are no other jobs. From afar, the ship-breaking yards look like scenes from an apocalypse, enormous ships bowing into the sand, and tiny human figures crawling over them like ants on the carcasses of giants. But within that sight lies something profoundly human, a courage that needs no declaration. The men of Chittagong do not see themselves as victims. They see themselves as the final keepers of the industrial world, the ones who dismantle the machines of progress. "Without us," one man said, "the metal would stay there forever." He does not realize he is being buried with that same metal. The steel plates they cut apart are sold, melted down, and reborn as material for new ships. A cycle of steel and of human fate. A cycle where blood and sweat become the glue that holds the modern world together. Bangladesh is where global prosperity is built upon the sacrifice of the unseen. Yet, if you look closer into the sweat-soaked faces and tired eyes of its workers, you see not only suffering, but pride. They know they are poor, but not small. They know the world forgets them, yet they continue, because they understand that the true worth of a person is not in the clothes they wear, but in the dignity they keep while standing in the mud. Number 9. The natural wonders and the unbreakable spirit of Bangladesh. After all the dust, poverty, and noise, few would imagine that Bangladesh still hides within itself landscapes so breathtaking they silence the world. It is as if God, after testing its people with suffering, returned to them the purest forms of beauty, to remind humanity that life endures, even in its most fragile shape. In the southwest lies the Sundarbans, the largest mangrove forest on Earth, a vast emerald labyrinth of channels, mudflats, tangled roots, and wild bird song. From above, it looks like a dark green tapestry woven between water and soil, light and shadow. Here, the Bengal tiger, symbol of national pride, still prowls silently among the trees, the living spirit of this land. These tigers have learned to swim through brackish waters and move between islands like ancient warriors. Locals believe they are divine guardians, both feared and revered. The Sundarbans is more than a natural wonder. It is a living shield. When cyclones and floods sweep in from the Bay of Bengal, its gnarled roots form a natural wall that saves millions of lives. Every year, Bangladesh endures dozens of storms, yet the land still stands, perhaps the most fitting symbol of its people, soft but unbreakable. Further south, where the sun melts into the saltwater horizon, stretches Cox's Bazar, the longest sea beach in the world. Over 120 kilometers of golden sand curve along the Bay of Bengal, creating a view both majestic and serene. But on this same coastline, two worlds coexist, one of turquoise waves and paradise-like sunsets, and another of sprawling refugee camps, home to hundreds of thousands of Rohingya people. Beauty and tragedy live side by side, like two sides of a coin bearing the name Bangladesh. Perhaps the most extraordinary image of this country, however, lies in its floating villages, communities that live entirely upon the water. Homes, markets, and schools all rest upon rafts of bamboo and wood. When the monsoon floods rise, the villages rise too. When the dry season comes, they settle back down. Everything moves with the rhythm of the river, as if humanity and nature have learned to breathe together. Children here learn to row before they learn to walk. Each morning they paddle small boats to school, gliding past lotus blooms and flocks of ducks. Even in heavy rain, lessons continue, the sound of raindrops mingling with the voices of children reading aloud. In moments like these, one understands. In Bangladesh, adaptation is not a skill, it is an instinct. Looking at these places, one begins to see that Bangladesh is not just a country. It is a metaphor for the endurance of humanity. It is where people can be beaten down by life, yet never destroyed. Here, pain becomes resilience, poverty becomes creativity, and faith becomes strength. The world often labels Bangladesh as sinful, polluted, or unlivable. But those who have walked its soil know better. These people are not pitiful, they are admirable. For while wealthier nations lose their humanity amid convenience and technology, the people of Bangladesh preserve what is most precious, the pure essence of the human spirit, the ability to love, to share, and to sacrifice for one another. A man from the floating village of Barisal once said, "We don't have much, but we have each other. And when you have someone to share with, you are never truly poor." That simple, profound truth is the soul of Bangladesh, a beauty that comes not from perfection, but from the unwavering spirit of those who refuse to bow down. As night falls over Dhaka, as the lights flicker across damp alleys, and the call to prayer echoes through the dark, what you hear is not just religion. It is the whisper of millions of souls telling the world, we are still here, we are still alive, and we still believe. Bangladesh, the land of paradoxes and miracles. A place where people live in poverty, yet possess souls richer than gold. Where sin and sanctity coexist. Where sorrow and hope walk hand in hand. If there is one lesson the world can learn from Bangladesh, it is this. The true strength of humanity lies not in what we own, but in our ability to rise again after every fall. Today, as you look inside your wardrobe, you may find a shirt labeled Made in Bangladesh. Remember, behind that tag is a story of mothers, fathers, and children who sew each thread with their lives. And perhaps the next time you wear it, you'll feel the warmth of their hands, the hands of people humble yet heroic. Thank you for journeying with fascinating discoveries through this exploration. If you wish to keep uncovering the hidden corners of our world, where paradox, humanity, and faith intertwine, subscribe to our channel, share this video, and explore the playlists appearing on your screen. May peace be with you, and wherever you are, may you always carry within your heart a belief in the beauty of humankind, just as Bangladesh still believes in the miracle of its own existence. Fascinating discoveries where the world's paradoxes become lessons of the human heart. Thank you for watching.